action film Autopsy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Oh, I love that thing.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So here's the deal. You take Batman out.
Okay.
You take Sly Stallone out.
All right.
And you replace at least one of them, probably Sly Stallone, with Chow Yun-fat from one of John Woo's Gun Fu movies.
Okay.
And I'll figure out what to...
Give me a list later.
Yeah, I'll figure out what to reply. I'll have to... Maybe something from Shang-Chi or whatever. You know, because again, the only thing I don't like about the Batman scene is it's just that stupid punching, and Batman is not fighting correctly.
Yeah.
But that's enough. This is for all you who are watching. This is a continuation of what we were talking about before.
We're going to be updating the intro, but we're keeping the theme song.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
theme song's awesome, and I like most of the fight scenes too.
Yeah,
those two are the ones I noticed.
Welcome back, everybody watching right now. Boy, Preston, PhatSamuraiGuy, with another action film episode. Hanging out, Kung Fu Santa himself. You guys know who he is. So there is an echo, Rick.
No, well, listen.
They hear the echo. They hear the
echo because I don't hear an echo.
You don't hear an echo?
Yeah. Anybody wating?
Yeah, they hear an echo. They're letting me know, right?
Oh, they're like.
Rick, is there something open on your side? Is there something open? Like, is YouTube or is something on your computer?
The only thing that's open on my computer are my notes.
Okay.
So
is the volume? Did you mute? Maybe.
Let's mute.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Still an echo?
There was no echo when you muted me. It was you, Rick. It was you all along.
Well, I muted me. I didn't mute you. So what should I mute?
Well, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't hear an echo.
So mute me.
How do I
mute again? Okay. That's weird. That's so weird. Can you guys hear me now? Is there an echo now with Rick muted? We will figure this out. All right, try muting. Get rid of that. Can you hear me, Rick? Because you're actually muted. I can't hear you, but there is no echo.
All right.
So,
but let me try this one now. Hold on.
All right. We're experimenting live. It's fun.
No, can you hear me?
Yes, there's no echo now. I think you fixed it.
But I can't hear you now because I muted my computer. This is really weird. Should I get out and come back in?
Try. Yeah.
All right.
I'll talk to chat.
All right.
All right. It's fun. Fuck it. We're doing it live. This is what we can say hello to everybody here. Hey, what is going on? Michael Gonzalez in the house. Oh yeah, hold on. We got Michael Brown. There you go, representing certified channel badass member. There you go. All right, I think let's he is back now. Let's see if we have the echo again. All right.
Do we have
I still hear me. Do you have headphones, Rick?
I do have headphones.
Because there's Marco G and turn down the volume where it's coming from your speakers to your mic. Or try headphones. Yeah, if you have headphones, it doesn't work.
Hold on.
All right. Don't worry. Yeah. What is going on, guys? We're gonna make it happen, baby. Yeah. Even if we can't get rid of the echo, we're still gonna go. But really quick, don't forget, guys, if you are a channel member or patron member, we have an exclusive series, Off the Shelf Reviews. The newest episode is uploaded to the channel right now, just for the channel members. And so I'm reviewing the Chinese boxer and one-arm boxer, Jimmy Wang Yu Classic. So let me give you a little taste here.
Don't give me a hard time.
Yo. So if you want to hear my thoughts on both of those movies, become a channel member and you can check out the video right now. It's up right now. All right. I think we nailed it.
We nailed it? Can you hear
echo.
me?
Yeah, you're good. No echo.
And you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Well, now we know.
Now we know it. And no one's half the battle, G.I. Joe.
But now the time has come, ladies and gentlemen, You know what time of the year it is? I'll tell you what. It's about to be the end of summer, and you know how I know? Because we're back to tucking in my beard time.
Ah.
So you can see my wonderful T-shirt. So now I tuck in my beard, and you can see all the glorious Hiya T-shirt.
Yes.
And my beard is nicely rounded.
That's right, because we support everything Hiya.
That's right. I love Hiya. We've got a bunch of Hiya movies this time, but we might as well. Let's see. So how are we going? Should we get started?
Yeah. Let me say hello to everybody really quickly, and then we can keep going. Jake Hall, how you doing? Michael Gonzalez, what is going on? We're going to speed run this. Jet Tiger saying hello, Samurai and Rick. Oh yes, everyone, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, the sponsor of the channel as of right now is the Urban Action Showcase and Expo.
That was a great commercial.
Yeah,
I've actually he already reached out to me. I'm going to be there this year. I was one of the last people to interview Jim Kelly, so they're honoring Jim Kelly.
Amazing.
I'm the only person I'm aware of at the entire convention that has a shirt that shows the Hong Kong Enter the Dragon poster, not the American. So I'm going to be
nice.
I'll be displaying that.
Yes, and you notice there was a familiar face in that intro too. A guy with glasses with a big long white beard.
No, not that. Only the short tucked in beard is allowed here now.
Well, that's awesome. You're going, Rick, and that's one of my goals. Is actually a goal. Maybe I can go next year for sure.
I hope you can. You can come with me.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Also I've been there from the very beginning. He gave me my 10th year shirt last year, and I imagine he'll give me something for the 11th year as well.
Nice.
Because I've always supported him. I always promoted him, and I may have introduced him to you. Did I introduce him to you?
I think so.
Yeah, because
now
I'm always. Demetrius is just awesome.
Well, I think it was when we did the Kung Fu Extravaganza here on the channel. I think that's when I met him for the first time. Yeah.
And by the way, we just got the footage today from this year's the official Comic-Con footage sent by the Comic-Con. I just got that over to Phat today, and so hopefully we'll have a big show of that. Maybe we'll have a screening. You'll have to look at the footage first.
Yeah.
But in any case,
at least the panel stuff, they can watch that.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, let's have some fun. Let's get it started. We have a lot today, a plethora of awesomeness or mediocre. You will find out from Rick. You know how we roll here. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we do it now, we got to make sure, because we got the audience here now, so we got to play it now. Make sure all of you badasses watching. Hold on.
And all you good asses too. All the good asses too.
Almost clicked on the show the fucking blood clip. But here you go.
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
Oh, you want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You got it! Get a piece of Rick.
We got to change that because they have Tiffany Taylor in the corner, the playmate, and I want to put up something more, kung fu-y, because I got all these signed kung fu posters. I got posters signed by Jackie, by Sammo, by La Cal Young, by two of the Venoms. I've got two Venoms posters signed by two of the Venoms.
Check the link in the description box below this video, guys. You can check out Rick's store. It's amazing what he's got there in autographs and all kinds of memorabilia.
Well, it's not my store. It's the Chimera Publishing store, but a lot of my stuff is in there. And also every week on Sunday, I put my top 5 picks of the week from the Rick collection.
There you go.
Yeah.
Copy that.
And so
are you ready to kick it? Oh, before we kick it off with the ocean, with sharp teeth content, you wanted to talk about One Piece.
Well, ironically, that also has the ocean and sharp teeth in it. Ironically. Yeah. One Piece premiered today on Netflix, the first season of the live action version of One Piece. And I've been a fan of One Piece. My nephew's been a fan of One Piece for his entire life. I got so when I became a anime reviewer, I got so inundated by anime that I had to just say, no, I'm going to concentrate on kung fu and martial arts. But I've always been a fan. It's just there's so much of it. And my nephew again always says, "Oh, Uncle Rick, you got to do this one. You got to do this one. You got to do this one." So One Piece was one of his favorites. And when we visited Tokyo a couple of years ago, just before the pandemic. They had a big One Piece exhibition in the Tokyo Tower, and we both went to that. And had I known how great it was, I would have bought a lot more souvenirs, because that was a once-in-a-lifetime exhibition. And so I just had some freebies, but I didn't get all the stuff I could have gotten. But I also have been seeing all the movies since then. So there are more than 1,000 episodes of the anime and more than a dozen movies.
Yikes.
And the movies are still amazing. One Piece Red, which is the latest movie, which I saw at last year's Urban Action Showcase, because Urban Action Showcase takes place at the Empire 25 on 42nd Street in New York. And so while they have an entire floor of the Urban Action Showcase, all the other floors are filled with working movie theaters. And so I went down to their IMAX and I watched One Piece Red, then went back to the convention. And One Piece Red was incredible. So I was very interested in the live action, because it's very difficult to do anime in live action, because anime, of course, is just brilliantly done, especially by the Japanese. And I watched only the first episode. I think 6 episodes are available today on Netflix. Okay. And I was impressed. And I was happy because I came into One Piece late. I haven't seen, like, I think it's 1,701 episodes.
Oh my God.
And I think I've seen 700, but I haven't seen the first 1,000. So what's great about this show is that it's starting from the beginning.
Okay.
So for all the people who haven't watched 1,701, there you go. Yeah. You can start from the beginning. And the other really cool thing, it's well cast. I believe it is being made and produced on the basis of the crew in South Africa.
Okay.
Because there's nobody in the cast I recognize, but they're all very good, and it's all beautifully produced. And what's the most important thing to me? We're on the action film Autopsy. The action is pretty impressive.
Really?
Yes, they have Luffy, who's the main character, because for years I thought, of course, the main character was One Piece. But because I watched the show tonight, I finally found out that One Piece is the treasure that everybody's going after. It's treasure that has, but again, that's in the first episode, and you'll see all that. And the action is good. They have a Japanese. They have all sorts of strange alien, every race, every creed, every color, every sex, and they're all doing different action styles, and they all fight in action. And I'm going, wow, this is very impressive. I wonder if it holds up for all 6 episodes. I'd love to find out how much this thing costs. So I can recommend that. And next month's, of course, by then I will have watched the whole first season, and I'll be able to tell you more about whether it holds up as well as the first episode did.
Copy that. And I know one of the characters, I'm getting an image. I'll play the image later.
Okay.
I'm getting it right now. But I believe Sonny Chiba's son is character. So
I believe so too.
Yeah, which is
awesome. There's a lot of in-jokes in One Piece. There's one character who later on who's based 100% on Zatoichi, the blind swordsman. And we'll be talking more about him in a couple of minutes because he shouted out on on something else.
Here's the picture right here.
There we go.
That's him with the green hair with the swords. I believe that's Chiba's
son. He's excellent.
Nice. All right. Excellent. So this has potential, is what you're saying, to break the live action anime curse on Netflix.
Curse. Yeah, well, let's hope so. It's certainly very well done.
All right.
So now let us start with our buddy Frank Jang, who couldn't be here tonight because he's working, but he left us a little video piece of himself and a review.
Yes, for the MEG 2 Electric Boogaloo.
That's right.
Hello, Frank Jang here, back by popular demand for yet another mini review for the action film Autopsy. This time I'm going to talk about MEG 2, The Trench. The first film 5 years ago was, big, dumb, tongue-in-cheek fun. This one was big, dumb, and not so fun until the end. So this time you have 3 sharks instead of 1 this time, but they show up in the first act and they kind of disappear for the entire second act until the climax. The problem with the film, I thought, was the movie spent too much time on not 1, but two sets of human villains and their weird motivation during the first 2/3 of the film. So the MEG became kind of secondary, and the sequel felt more like your typical Jason Statham transporter kind of action movie in a homage to James Cameron's The Abyss, which is fine. More than a shark movie. Still, I enjoyed that first part. Li Bingbing's daughter is back, along with a few other characters from the first film, such as Cliff Curtis Mack, and also Paige Kennedy as the de facto African-American comic relief. This time we have China's biggest box office star Wu Jing as Li Bingbing's brother, but he never fought in the film, and then you saw him wearing this power suit in the film's beginning, but he never used it to fight the sharks. He also has kind of like this pet MEG that he can control, so you kind of expect a good MEG versus bad MEG fight in the end, but that never happened. But the third act, set at the Fun Island, kind of redeemed the movie because it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of bloodless carnage, of giant lizards and octopus, and they kind of redeemed the film. And also, I saw this in 3D and 4DX, so that was quite an experience. So, not as self-aware, winking fun at the audience like the first film, but still fun and worth seeing it, especially if you are a fan of the first film and Jason Statham. Until next time, take care.
And it's pronounced Statham. Okay, it's pronounced Statham. And
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank, for giving us a little guest review video. Thank you, sir.
Yes, and that sets up my review.
All right.
Not video, but live action thing.
Yeah.
Because I see where Frank is coming from, but it's fascinating to me to see how, where, and when you see a movie has an effect on how I feel about the movie. Because I don't agree with Frank for some of these points. Some of these things I do. But for the most part, I mean, my attitude toward Frank is because he went to see it, as he said, at a IMAX shake the theater production. This movie is not deserving of that.
Okay.
I saw it on streaming on my big TV with surround sound, and it was perfect for that. And he's saying, and also for him to put down a standard Jason Statham transporter, I'm going, what are you kidding? I love standard Statham.
Statham.
I love standard Statham.
Right.
Because he's great. And it is, he gets to fight. I think it's in his contract. He gets to fight. The movie starts with him fighting a bunch of people, not just creatures. And he gets to fight later on. Wu Jing, who is being kept down, Wu Jing made the most successful Chinese action movie in Chinese cinema history, Wolf Warrior 2, and then they wouldn't let him do Wolf Warrior 3. So I think in his contract here, they wouldn't let him do, they let him do one thing in Wandering Earth 2, and here they kind of let him do heroic stuff, but none of his incredible kung fu. Because here, this movie, we have one of the best martial art performers in film, and we have one of the best kung fu performers in film.
Yeah.
And they only let one do it because Statham insists.
So Jing has no action scenes at all?
He has action scenes, but he's not allowed to do any kung fu. No kung fu. And he's not going to do martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Statham's going to do the martial arts.
Right.
And so, but it's still good to see him, and I'm glad he's still getting work. Yeah. And he's still being allowed to work by the Chinese Film Bureau. But I found the movie a lot of fun. I thought it not superior to Meg 1, but I've seen it's very hard to find a sequel that's better than the first one. So I wasn't expecting it.
Right.
I saw on the poster that there was a lot of different, Megs and a lot of different monsters in this one. And Frank mentions a couple of movies that this movie rips off, but this movie rips off a lot of other movies too. But again, that's what I think all the winking was. I don't think Frank realized how many movies this thing was winking about, because not only does it, what did Frank say? It said that it borrowed from, I forgot what movie he said it borrowed from.
He said The Abyss.
James Cameron's
The Abyss.
I didn't even notice that. What I missed was a lot of allusions to Deep Blue Sea. There's one scene that's just taken right out of deep, and the villain might as well have turned to the camera at that point and went, wink, wink. And there's a line of dialogue in here. Of course, this thing is directed by Ben Wheatley. And Ben Wheatley is a fun-loving director. He's done a lot of great television. The stuff that I've seen him do is he's directed episodes of Doctor Who. And so I'm sort of like going, so he's having fun.
Okay.
And there's one moment, I just love this. The main villain throughout the whole movie, Statham is trying to, get his hands on him, and that guy is trying to kill Statham.
Yeah.
So at the last moment when Statham sets him up perfectly on a dock, you showed that dock picture before, and he sets him up in such a way that he makes the villain into food for the MEG.
Oh, wow.
And as he sets it up, he says to the villain, as the villain goes into the MEG's mouth, he says, "So long, chum."
So
And I
long,
went,
chum.
That was so smart, chum. That was great. Because back when I was a kid, the Hardy Boys always called each other, instead of calling their friends, they would call them chums.
Yeah.
So here, so long, chum.
Chum.
And then the guy gets disappeared. I found it and very enjoyable, but I have to admit, probably the main reason that it was so enjoyable is that I saw it right after Heart of Stone.
Oh, yikes.
Had I not seen it right after Heart of Stone,
Yikes.
I probably would have been a little more Frankie about it. I probably would have gone, yeah, it was okay. It's a sequel, but it's a lot of fun. It's very silly. That's how I distinguish it. When a movie, let's put it this way, Heart of Stone is stupid. It is stupid, stupid, stupid.
It's stupid.
It's stupid. MEG 2, Electric Boogaloo,
Right.
is silly.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's silly fun.
Right.
But because Heart of Stone is stupid, it's not fun.
Yikes.
It should have been fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it is directed by Tom Stone, I think, who directed Peaky Blinders, which was a great British. Yeah. And he's directed Heart of Stone. And the action in Heart of Stone makes the MEG 2 look like Ong Bak. It makes it look like Heroes of the East. It makes it look like 36 Chamber of Shaolin.
Wow.
The action in Heart of Stone, without mincing words, is terrible.
Oh, God.
You will hate it.
Oh,
yeah,
I hate it already.
Yeah,
I don't even need to watch it.
Phat, you're the one who usually goes, the way they cut it.
Yeah.
It's clear that they did not have. First of all, it's done by Greg Rucka. It's written by Greg Rucka, who's a comic writer, a comic book writer who's pretty good. And he also did The Old Guard, which was another Netflix female-led action film
I enjoyed that.
I wasn't happy with it because, again, the action was very expected.
Seen it before.
But at least, and also it's, again, everybody fights the same. The women fight the same as the guys. But at least the fighting was okay in that. The fighting in this is just effing awful.
God,
I mean, you can't. It's just shaky camera and everything in shadow. It was clear that they didn't have the time. But then the whole movie builds to the final confrontation between Gal Gadot as Tom Cruise with Y chromosomes and the betrayer, the other star. The plot is just, again, it's a ripoff of Dead Reckoning. I mean, pretty much beat for beat.
Wow.
Except Dead Reckoning is, again, it makes Dead Reckoning look like Legendary Weapons of China. I mean, it's just, but they build up to this final fight.
Yeah.
And in the first part of the final fight, Gal Gadot versus, I forgot the guy's name, and they fight exactly the same, except at the beginning of the fight, the guy stabs Gal Gadot and then moves in on her and keeps punching and putting his hand into her knife wound. And let me do an impersonation of what she does. Now, when somebody gets close enough to you to put their hand in your knife wound,
Yes.
That means they're right here. There's no distance between you and them.
Right.
So here's Gal Gadot with him doing that. Let me do my impersonation of her. Ow, ow. Oh, let me get my hands in the shot. Ow, ow. Now, if you see the whole scene, she has her hands free, she has her legs free, she has her head free, and the guy is right here. So if she just stops going, ah, it's my least favorite thing with men and women fighting. It happened in one of Jamie Lee Curtis's movies too. The villain has, I forgot it was called. She was playing a cop. The villain has her by the throat. The villain is right behind her. She's a cop, and he takes her gun and he points her gun over her own shoulder at her best friend who's down the hall. And even though he hands her his hand on her neck while he has the gun out,
yeah,
her arms are free, her legs are free, her head is free. The guy is right there.
Right.
And I teach Kung Fu, and it's kind of like, what's the first thing you do? Your foot goes into his balls, your head goes into his nose. Also, your hand goes down. Once your foot goes into his balls, either hand can go down there and grab it and just rip it right off his body.
Yes.
But and this is what she does. She also does this. She also does the same thing. She also goes, oh, oh, oh. You know what that means? That he's not holding her hard enough.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for her. If he's
Right.
choking her and she can't think and she's paralyzed, that's one thing.
Right.
But if she's making noise, he hasn't done that. So it makes no sense at all. And the same thing with her. It's same thing. She's supposed to be the best spy ever.
Yes, I was going to ask, was this like when she was a rookie? Was this a flashback?
No, she's the best agent these guys have. And she has the badass walk at the end of the movie. Thankfully, she's not walking away from an explosion, because that's another one of my least favorite things. I've always wanted, and I've written a couple of scripts where it happens, where somebody who loves those kind of scenes puts a bomb on a gas truck and starts walking away to act like he's really badass, and it blows up behind him. And then he suddenly slows down and falls down with smoking pieces of shrapnel in the back of his head. But in any case, so at the end of this movie, she's just so... And then once she finally, again, like these magic action movies, she gets better and is able to fight him. Because the script said so.
Yeah.
Because the script said so.
Right.
This is how she fights.
I'm scared. Oh, we're talking big John Wayne
big
wind-up?
One. Always closed fist. All she does is punch him.
That's it.
All she does is punch him with roundhouse punches. So I went on to IMDb and I wanted to see what fight coordinator did such a bad job. Guess what? No fight coordinator is listed.
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
Wow. So they were just winging it. Literally.
I guess, well, they might have had a fight coordinator, but once he saw the finished film, or she saw the finished film, because usually they have they have stunt people, doing for Gal.
Right.
It's such, the bad action permeates the entire movie. The script is terrible. The plot is terrible. The dialogue is terrible. This is a bad, evil movie.
Wow.
And
Yikes.
what did I know? Yeah, that's what I said. I said everything. But there's another Ellen Smithy fight coordinator. There you go. Very good. Very good, Marco. The other thing I wanted to say, because we're still in the middle of the hopefully not the middle, hopefully we're at the end of the strike, the writers and the actors strike. Hopefully we're getting close. I believe this movie could have easily have been written by AI.
Wow.
And so could the MEG. These are the kind of movies we can expect if the studios get their hands and the Writers Guild allows them to use AI and then get writers to rewrite the AI because the plot is so derivative. Both of it's still enjoyable, especially since it's streaming, so there's no huge expectations. But yeah, this is something to not look forward to. And that also relates to what we're about to talk about as well. We're about to jump into the animation section of the show because Heart of Stone was on Netflix. I wanted to, I wanted to see, I think the beard needs to be unleashed.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm looking at it. It was getting too puffy. There we go. There we go. Now it's now I'm the old man of the mountain. I wanted to see their version of Monkey King.
Yeah.
Because every once in a while, there we go. Every once in a while, Netflix does a really good animation. I mean, the Sea Beast, I still think very highly of. Monkey King is directed by Anthony Stacchi, who also did Box Trolls. And it is written by the team who made who wrote Brother Bear, Open Season, and Chicken Little, which are all Disney animations in Disney's weakest animation era. Well, not its weakest, its second weakest. And so basically that means, and they do have one Asian who also worked on those Disney films. She's also listed as a screenwriter. So you can probably guess Monkey King is okay. It's fine.
I figured, yeah.
But it is, unfortunately, I have to give it the label that I give to Asian-themed films made by white people, which is chop sake sui. In other words, there's a lot of movement in this. There's a lot of activity in this. There's a lot of color in this. But it is afflicted by the thing that most of these movies are afflicted by, which is limited knowledge of the subject matter. I mean, it's if you go see the live action Mulan, that is one of the not the greatest, one of the worst examples of chop sake sui. Right. I mean, that was just as was Out of the Badlands, or whatever that series was called. Into the Badlands. Yeah, I wanted to get out of the Badlands. They wanted to go into the Badlands. So it's similar to that. And I animated movie, but it's still watchable. It's not long. It's very active. If you don't have the kind of knowledge I have of the subject matter, I don't think you'll have a problem with it. You won't think it's the best thing you've seen all year, but I don't think you'll spit on it. And I'm not going to spit on it either, but I was sort of like going, oh, it's a shame they didn't have people that... Rita Tsao was the other one. She worked on the original animated Mulan, as well as was a story person on Toy Story 2. So she's of a higher quality than the other guys were.
We have a question here for you. Yeah. Is it worse than Paws of Fury?
No, not even close. Paws of Fury is again...
It's an abomination.
That isn't even chop sake sui. That's just bad. I mean, I like a lot of chop sake movies, and I like chop suey when it's made well. But no, Paul.
So this is like a nice little fun time waster, but you'll forget about it when it's done.
Well, you may not forget about it, but you won't say that was the greatest thing ever. I mean, still the best thing ever is Na Cha. Na Cha is still on Tubi, and I think it's still on Amazon Prime. And it's also on Plex. That's still the best. Absolutely the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
by default, it's better. Yes.
Well, anything's better. You're talking about the live action.
Yeah.
That was an abomination.
Oh, yeah.
Because the original Pinocchio, the animation, was exceptional, classic.
Classic.
So how could they make a piece? I again think that was Bob Chapek. I believe that was sabotage on his part.
Right.
But now let's go to a better movie that has more knowledge, even though it is predominantly made by the guy who did the most recent Green Hornet, which was also afflicted by limited knowledge and should have been superior and was far from it. Right. And that is the new animated version of There you go.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mutant Mayhem.
Mayhem. Yes.
This is good,
Okay.
but it's best viewed if you accept that it was produced and written by people on pot, by potheads.
Okay.
I mean, and as such, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are kind of perfect for potheads because one of my biggest problems with them, with my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie is still the first live action one.
Yes. Yes. Preach it, Rick.
I was at the cast and crew premiere of
Still
that
the
movie
best.
in New York with the cast and the crew. Made great friends with my buddy, who played one of the turtles, and it's still the best one. Also was done by the wildly underrated and seemingly cursed Steve Barron, and who was a great filmmaker. I believe it was Steve Barron.
It's still the best.
It's still the best.
Yeah.
This one's good.
Okay. All right.
But the problem is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was created as a goof.
Right.
It was created it was basically a bunch of guys who took 4 different words that didn't go together and put them together and played it straight.
Right.
And the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book was closer to Dick Tracy than it was to any kung fu. I mean, it was hard. It was mean. It was violent.
Oh,
It was dark. It was dark and violent. Yeah. Yeah, it was the best, Eric. And this one is worth seeing.
Okay.
But because it's done by potheads, they still haven't quite figured out how to handle the characters. But they do a pretty good job. And it's also, I have to admit, usually I don't do this. Usually I accept changes. I am proudly and happily woke. I am double, triple, quadruple woke. However, what they do to April O'Neil in this movie, I sort of go, I don't know, man. You didn't have to do that.
Right.
I understand what you're doing. I appreciate what you were doing.
Right.
But again, that shows you your lack of understanding of how this concept could work together at its best.
Yeah.
And so, and the other thing, but there is one thing in this movie which is exceptional. A brilliant piece of casting. First of all, I was very happy that they got actual teenagers to do the voices of the turtles, and that was cool. That was refreshing. But they cast Jackie Chan as Splinter. Or is it Shredder?
Splinter.
Which one? It is Splinter. I always confuse those two.
Yeah.
And so when you watch the Rats fight scenes, they're based on Jackie Chan.
Oh, no shit.
They're based on Jackie Chan action, which is, again, avoiding and not wanting to hurt the other person and doing all these really. Also, John Cena's in it, so it's like a reunion of those two. Because I enjoyed that movie.
I heard Ice Cube as the main villain was hilarious. I heard.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's not a perfect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie because I don't think there can be one. Because it's 4 different things put together. How can you pull that off? Doing 4 different, completely divergent things and make them coalesce.
Yeah.
But it's one of the better ones.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
All right. Copy that.
And now we're getting into. Okay, now I have to put the beard away again because we're getting into the Hayas stuff.
Well, White Storm 3 is not there yet, but the one after that is there.
Yeah, well, we'll start with White Storm 3 because do you want to show? Do you have Frank's original review?
No, I don't.
Okay, because he reviewed that last week.
Yeah,
and I again don't.
Actually, I could pull it up really quick on the channel because I posted it on the channel. That's up to you.
Well, no, it's up to you.
It's up to me. Do you want to watch it or not?
Right. Well, you guys watching, is anybody who's watching not seen Frank's review of White Storm 3? Anybody want to see it? Yeah, we'll leave it up to them. Don't leave it up to us.
Okay, I'll play it, guys. I'll bring it up if you want to hear what Frank has to say.
Because then
I'll just do it. Let me just do it. Make it easier. Then that way you can see the differences. I'm sure you have different things to say. But I'll bring it up really quick. You just keep talking to him, Rick, while I'm.
Yeah, so what's happening here is that Frank reviewed it and he thought it was absolutely great because it's his kind of movie. It's a lot of drone shots and a lot of hyper action. I called it bullet porno. But Frank was so amazed by the bullet porno that he didn't recognize, because he thought it happened throughout the movie. He said the last third of the movie is just this gigantic battle sequence. Okay, you don't have to bring it up. I've just told you what he said. So you don't have to repeat it because I've just said what he said. But
you don't want me to play it?
No, let's not play it because I just repeated. So he said, it's the whole thing. It's overwhelming. And I'm like going, and then I watched it. The bullet porno is in the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes in an almost 2 hour long movie. So I enjoyed it a lot more when I finally saw it. Yeah, I wanted this come out because this is what you're seeing. Look at all the bullet porno. Lots of bullet porno.
I'm excited.
Great actors. All three of those actors are terrific. And what's one of my favorite, I've enjoyed the White Storm series from the beginning. I enjoyed 1, 2, which I believe are 1 and 2, White Storm 1 and 2 are also on Tubi. And the reason I love the thing is that basically the White Storm series is about a super cop. It's not really an action series, although there's a lot of great action. It's about a super cop played by Louis Koo. Yeah, bring up that picture again. Bring up the poster again. All of you, if you're watching it, can you guess who Louis Koo is? He's the super cop. I'll tell you who he is. He's the one with no expression. He is the great stone face. He's the guy on the left over there.
He's stoic.
He's the one with the automatic pistol.
Yeah.
And he's playing Joe Friday, Dick Tracy, Steve McGarrett. And I've written 2 one was award nominated, one was an award-winning books on TV detectives. And I've been forever a fan of the super cop. So when I saw the first one and I saw Louis Koo was doing a super cop, he's just like the original Steve McGarrett played by Jack Lord, just like Dick Tracy, the original from the comic strips, just like Joe Friday from Dragnet, the original, not the 60s one, not the campy one. He's unbending. He will never break the rules. Never. And, Joe Friday, all of those guys would rather lose a criminal than to do something illegal to get them. And so Louis Koo is playing that. And here, the White Storm series, it's called White Storm because they're fighting drug pushers. Drugs are the White Storm. Yeah, and this is an actual scene that happens at the end of the film. And this is what makes the movie great here. And also there's a touch of not the Departed, whatever The Departed was based on, the Asian
Infernal Affairs.
Infernal Affairs. In that, the gentleman to the left, Aaron Kwok, is undercover. He plays one of the drug lords, the Thailand drug lords' most trusted aides. Oh, this scene is great too, because the action, the first 15 minutes, yes, lots of bullet porno. And they have this wonderful scene with all 3 of them in the villain's car. And then they start to fight because the villain realizes one of them is a cop, not the undercover one, but Louis Koo. So they start to have a fight. Within seconds of the fight starting, Louis Koo goes out the back windshield. The back windshield is not broken. The back windshield is completely intact. And from the back seat, Louis Koo goes out of the car, smashing the back windshield. Does anybody know how hard and strong a windshield is? He comes out of that thing. And also, I mean, it used to be that if you went out a windshield, you would be cut to shreds. Now the windshields are designed not to fall apart. However, you'd have a lot of broken bones, whatever, to get out there. Louis Koo comes out that windshield and he's fine. Not a scratch on him. And I sort of went, okay, I give up on this. I don't care how many bullets are fired. I don't care how many drone shots are fired. This is not supposed to be realistic.
Okay.
So all right, so I don't care.
So okay.
I don't care about the action, and although the action is fine and it is bullet porno.
Yeah.
However, first 15 minutes, last 15 minutes, the rest of the movie has a familiar plot, but done extremely well. Infernal Affairs, these guys are giving their all to it. They create the undercover guy, the drug lord is in Thailand. The undercover guy goes to Thailand to be with him. Louis Koo is trying to keep Aaron Kwok safe, the undercover guy safe. And that's why he keeps on putting his ass on the line to make sure that Aaron Kwok isn't killed. In that first sequence, the Thailand guy, he goes through the front windshield of his car, and he also is not scratched or bruised in any way. But Aaron Kwok gets shot like 3 times, point blank. He's pretty much the only guy in that opening bullet porno scene that gets shot.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they get him out of there. They bring him back to Thailand by smuggling him on a cruise ship inside one of those, the tractor trailer things.
Yeah.
He has 3 huge automatic shells inside of him for that entire trip.
He's just that badass, Rick.
I have to admit that he's lying there like, but
He's
then they
it.
have this whole wonderful sequence when they finally get him back to headquarters, which is in this village in the Golden Triangle of the drug thing, where their illegal doctor comes in and does an operation on him, opens him up, basically opens up his chest. And there's this wonderful shot where he's taking out bullets out of him, and the bullets are this big. And he's dropping them in the little metal pan, and it goes clank, clank, clank. Well, I'm happy to say that, he still would, but then shortly after that, once he's stitched up, he's awake. He's still kind of delirious or whatever. Then they create this interesting. He is so alienated. He is so upset that he's undercover, and he's so torn by being and he's helping these drug guys that he starts a love affair with one of the female poppy farmers. Of course, the female poppy farmer, I don't have her name, but she's played by an actress model. I mean, she's the most beautiful,
of course,
poppy farmer you've ever seen. and I'm like going, oh, this is nonsense. But they do it straight. Everybody's doing it straight. They're playing it straight. The romance is building. The romance is building. The drama is building. The drama is building. Everybody is so committed to this that I get, I'm getting chills watching it. I'm going, wow. These guys are really putting their souls on the line. The ending of this movie, it's not the action. It's funny that Frank is talking about the action. That's what he thinks so great about this. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy this if you get a chance to see it once it comes on Tubi, because it doesn't matter. The plot is the plot.
Right.
They have these wonderful confrontations right out of Infernal Affairs. And finally at the end, in order to save his friends, Louis Koo drives into this village because the girl, Aaron Kwok keeps telling the girl, I'll marry you. Come with me. He keeps taking her. Come with me. Get on the plane. Then she goes, no, I'm not leaving my village. I'm not leaving my family. I'm not leaving my parents. So she stays in the village, even though Kwok knows that there's going to be the attack on the village by the law enforcement officials.
Right.
And so again, so Louis Koo gets in his SUV and he drives into the village. And he runs her over.
Hold on 1 second, Rick.
Yeah.
After you just told me that.
Yeah. He doesn't mean to. He doesn't even know he did it.
I know. That's just how I took it right there. That was my
Well, there you go.
response.
But wait a minute, we're not done. We're not done.
Okay.
That's what's so great about this movie. He runs her over without even knowing he did it. And at the end, after they have the big confrontation with the villain, and after the undercover guy reveals that he's an undercover cop, it's because the movie was amazing.
Yeah,
it's when I was like I said, I was getting chills, and so the undercover guy, they've finally taken the drug lord away, who's saying, "This is useless, I'm going to be out in a couple of seconds."
Right.
But you did your job. He kept on saying, "You did your job." And so Aaron Kwok and Louis Koo are sitting next to each other. They're exhausted. They're sitting by on the side of his car. And meanwhile, Aaron Kwok is exhausted because he's been looking everywhere for his girl. Yeah. And so he just is leaning back, and he turns his head, and on the front of the wheel is the brooch that she always wears in her hair. The brooch, because he ran over her head, the brooch stuck in his tire.
This sounds amazing.
It is amazing. We're not even done yet. And Aaron Kwok, you see him realize it. And then you see him look at Louis Koo.
Oh, shit.
And Louis Koo still doesn't know. He still doesn't know he killed her. Aaron Kwok knows he killed her.
Yeah.
Louis Koo doesn't know he killed her.
Oh, shit.
And I'm going, again, I'm getting chills. I'm going, what the fuck's going to happen now?
Yeah.
They're on the plane going back to Hong Kong. The plane is in clouds. The plane goes beneath the clouds, and Hong Kong appears. And they're sitting next to each other. And Aaron Kwok, and I'm there going, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Aaron Kwok turns his head and says quietly, "I love Hong Kong." And I went, hold. Wow. And he does it so much better than I do.
Yeah.
Because you have to hear the tone in his, because I watched it subtitled, of course. I wanted to hear the original language.
Right. Yeah.
Because he felt when she was killed, and he was worried throughout this that this would deaden him. The whole experience would deaden him, not just the girl, but he fell in love with the girl just as a reaction to getting over this.
Because she was a hot model.
Yeah. But but because he expressed love for something that wasn't her, I knew he was over it. He was fine. He was going to be fine. He's not going to kill her. So now I'm really looking forward to White Storm 4. Is
this confirmed?
No, I don't know it's confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it is, because basically the Chinese Film Bureau keeps letting them make these movies as long as they make Hong Kong look like a cesspool of violence and corruption.
Right. Yeah.
But they let him say, "I love Hong Kong" at the end.
Wow.
And I just went, oh, I couldn't care. I could watch this movie endlessly without the action. The action was irrelevant because it was nonsense. The rest of the movie just had great heart. And speaking of not nonsense, but speaking of Chinese Film Bureau, our next one, which is on Haya, is Wolfpack.
Yes.
Wolfpack is written and directed by first-time writer-director Michael Chiang, and it features, and again, every time it features Wu Jing or anybody who's an actual kung fu star, I always go, oh, they're not going to let him do kung fu. They're not going to let him do kung fu. So Wolfpack stars Jin Max Zhang, who's the guy in the front there with the cheekbones. And he's a great, he would have been a kung fu star now had they let him be. And basically this is mostly a bullet porno movie.
Right.
With a heart, with a brain.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But it has at the end a knife fight.
Right.
Which is a great knife fight. And as soon as I saw who the choreographer was, it was Tung Wai, who's otherwise known as Stephen Tung, who's one of the great. He worked on, he was the He was the kung fu coordinator on Hero. He was the kung fu coordinator on Hard Boiled.
Yeah.
He is just great. This fight scene, I have to go back now and see who Max was fighting. I want to see if it's Stephen Tung himself.
Ooh.
So they let him get away with it because I think the Chinese Film Bureau said, well, that's martial arts. That's not kung fu.
Right.
That's whatever.
Right.
But
well,
it's
let me play this little quick trailer.
Yeah,
that
go,
way they
baby.
could see a little bit
Yeah.
there. Here we go. Wolfpack.
爪哇岛那边有12个孩子在婆罗波火山出事了。
到了市区，咱们就去机场。
你这是怎么下
？30万，欧元。我可不是佣兵。
行动时间5分30秒。
注意点方向。
这个随便折发。这爆药。
你疯了吗你？哎！6点钟方向有园区。RPG。
Good action movie. I'm
Looks
trying.
phenomenal.
I'm gonna let me see the cast because it looks like one of those guys may be Jackie Chan's son.
Oh.
No, I don't
Okay.
think it is. I think everybody looks the same to me because I'm a white guy. No, it's not him, but still he's a good actor. I think his English name is Jordan Chan, but I don't think it's the
Right.
son. But yeah, this is a worthwhile movie. It's the first time director, so he's trying really hard. It is,
And you can watch it on Hayao right now.
That's
Yes,
right.
You can watch it
Along with our next movie,
there. Yes.
which is Luban 4 Heroes.
I got 2 more screenshots here for Wolfpack.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Overall, you did enjoy it. It was a fun action flick.
Again, because of the director and the star, they had conviction. They weren't just sloughing it off.
Gotcha.
And it's the same as true with White Storm 3. The same is true with Luban 4 Heroes. Things are improving because what's happening is that the very talented filmmakers, once they sort of went, all right, there's nothing we can do about the Chinese Film Bureau. Let's see how we can make what we can do better.
All right.
Let's do what the Chinese Film Bureau wants us to do, which is not elevate kung fu. Make sure that we have the subject matter, but let's not be clever about it. Let's be straight about it, and let's do it as best we can. So here, the last film of the group, of this particular group we're talking, Luban 4 Heroes. I was fascinated by this too, because I'm also adjusting. As an audience member, I so long for great kung fu, but this is the end of the kung fu film era anyway, with Sammo and Jackie and all these guys getting older. I mean, Sammo's in his 70s. Jackie's turning 70 next year. So, and
Wow.
Aka Leung is dead, and all these other great guys, they're adjusting. So I'm adjusting too. I'm appreciating what I get. And
Gotcha.
what's happening with Luban 4 Heroes? Luban 4 Heroes is almost an entirely a Chinese mythology movie.
Okay.
But it turns out it's more than a mythology movie because, again, it is done by all these young people. They're just starting out. The director's only done 3 previous movies. He's in his 30s. They're doing the best they can. This movie is based on, it's the legend of Suolong. I thought it was going to be all mythology, but this is an actual, there's this little village that has a sewer and a sewer with a cover and a bridge over it. You can actually see pictures of this thing in the little village. And everybody in the village believe that a dragon demon is in the sewer. There she is. That's when she's not in her dragon form.
Yes.
And that many years ago, that a great, some people say that there are countless treasures hidden at the bottom of the well, and as long as you can open the well cover, you can get huge wealth. However, countless people have tried, but no one has successfully opened the manhole cover. It is also said there's a dragon in the well, And as long as you communicate with it, you can gain endless wisdom and power. However, no matter how many people tried to communicate, they all ended in failure. That's what's happening. People come to this village to do that. This is a movie about the original myth and more modern day people, and this 6'6" American actor, or maybe Canadian, white actor who's playing this mercenary who wants to come in and try to get all the treasures. So it starts with the eminent monk Yao Guangzhou. There he is, wonderful actor. Played by, I have the actor's name here, but in any case, but that's all right. Lei Shik-yu, yeah, they've all gathered. It's a fascinating movie.
Yeah.
There's some
sounds fun.
It is fun. They even have a bride with white hair, and the leading actor. Show the main poster again. The leading actor, who's the guy on the right there, who's with the axe, who's holding up. He's the emotional heart of the movie. You can see the other actors are all stone-faced, but the one on the right is showing emotion, and he does that throughout the movie.
Nice.
Basically, the movie ends with a close-up of his face, reacting to this person who has come into the room. It's just wonderful. It was heartwarming.
So it's a supernatural take on a real event in a way.
It's three different levels. They show the origin of the legend, and then they show the result of the legend, and it's got heart. And again, it's 73 minutes long. And every single one of these movies, the special effects get better, the production values get better, everything gets better, the costumes get better. So again, I'm just sort of like going, I don't know whether I'm just accepting my fate, but as long as I enjoy it, I don't care.
There you go. That's all that matters.
And now,
so I have to ask.
Yep.
Last time we make sure you guys, if you missed our last action film Autopsy episode, we talked about. Rick talked about. He gave his honest, unbiased thoughts on Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
And the question I asked was, because I said, Secret Invasion, who do you trust? I was like, Rick, who do you trust? And your response was, not Kevin Feige anymore.
Not at this point.
So, with Ahsoka, Rick, can you trust Filoni anymore?
If you had asked me that last week, I would have worried.
Okay.
But then because the first two episodes was all say, don't tell. The whole thing was say, don't tell. And the wonderful actress who plays, I'm not even going to try to call her Ahsoka. I'm going to just call her Osaka. I'm calling her Osaka for the rest of the thing, because it's just natural to me.
Yeah.
She was dead on arrival for the first two episodes.
Right.
Yeah, I am too, Michael. But it was the third episode that really did it, because then the character changes. All three of these characters change in the third episode. In the first two episodes, they're DOA. They're all blank-faced. They're showing no emotion, and the whole show was almost the whole show, except for this sequence, was tell, don't show. But finally now they're showing not just telling. And it's much more rounded. And it was very clear because Filoni wrote every episode. I do still have faith in Filoni. In Filoni, I have faith. For Filoni, faith. Well, the third episode was very promising.
Okay.
And since he wrote the whole thing and he's directing 2 episodes, yeah. I mean, a lot of it is, they're not following the rules of space travel, but I don't care. It's still, the third episode was redemption for me.
Okay. How was rest in power? How was Ray Stevenson?
Ray is we'll take a look at him. He's a gravestone, literally and figuratively, in that he's so strong. Every time, he did what what's his name did, the guy who played Palpatine. Everybody else in the prequels weren't allowed to act, and they didn't. They tried as Jimmy Smith, Samuel L. Jackson. They were still DOA. The guy who played Palpatine, who I knew the name of usually right off the top of my head, but I'm too old now.
Yeah, I know.
He managed, and so does Ray. Ray
Nice.
can just stand there looking still, but just the power is coming off of him.
Nice.
Just very nice. And also, the guys who worked on The Mandalorian in terms of the action, they're working on this. And you can see, and it's very strong. And also the one who's really doing Palpatine, interestingly enough, is Diana Lee Inosanto, who plays the main villain in this. And do you know who she is?
Yeah, that's Dan's daughter, right?
Yeah,
right?
the daughter of Daniel Inosanto,
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's friend and fellow student and teacher.
Mm-hmm.
The one who was in Game of Death with the Sticks.
Mm-hmm.
She is great in this show.
Nice.
She's just got wonderful. Every time it's like she's playing the main villain, and every time the camera goes on her face or she turns and looks at the camera, I sort of go, "Ooh, okay," because I've met her. I met her at her father's gym.
Nice.
Yeah, and with Benny the Jet, and it was just and at that point, she wasn't showing all this acting skill. She was just a charming young lady.
Yeah,
this was many years ago. So I was I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm very happy that the third episode came out.
All right.
And now
there's still hope.
There's more than hope. There's more than hope.
All right.
In Filoni, I have faith.
Okay. All right. Now we are here to talk about Ant-Man. Blue Beetle. Sorry.
Ant-Man. Well, no, we're here to talk about Spider-Man. No, Blue Beetle.
Yeah, there you go.
No, Blue Beetle, No Way Home. If you are Hispanic, if you are Puerto Rican, you will probably enjoy this movie more than us racist white guys. This is not a bad movie. This is I dare say this is even. No, I can't do it. I can't say. Again,
be honest, Rick. Be honest.
I am being honest.
Okay.
We literally have seen this all before, except for the Hispanic content.
Okay.
And anybody who's watching who's Puerto Rican or Hispanic, you have to tell me, do the majority of the Hispanic or Puerto Rican people and friends you have, do they act like this? Because it's very hard for me to believe that this is a realistic Puerto Rican Hispanic family. It really looks like a sitcom family.
Right.
And
so are you saying Blue Beetle is racist?
No, I can't say that because I'm not Puerto Rican. Only a Puerto Rican can say that if it's honestly racist.
Right.
I'm afraid it is not what it could or should have been, because all of these seem to be stereotypes. But if they are actually a lot of people and also virtually every line of dialogue once they get into the family, it should be followed by a rim shot. It's just
right.
They're all pretending they're on what's his name? What's the guy? Who's the father?
George Lopez.
George Lopez. It's like they all were on his last two sitcoms. It plays like one of his sitcoms, and I'm saying, well, yeah. There we go. Gonzalez. He would know better than I would. But it's by me even saying that Michael Gonzalez would know better than I. That still shows how racist I am. But in any case, so again, it's not bad, but it's not great, and it may not be good. But here it is. Here's the word for Blue Beetle. It's watchable.
Okay.
I personally found it a little confusing.
Okay.
Because every time they said they were going to make a Blue Beetle movie, my response was always the same. Why? Why are you doing Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
To me, I enjoyed the comics to the degree. I knew that he was, and also ran. He wasn't a grade A superhero. He was a B level. He was a B hero. And I love B movies.
Yeah.
And had they made this a B movie, and also this was supposed to go on streaming. Had it been on streaming, I probably would have enjoyed it more. Yeah, this was originally supposed to be a streaming movie, along with Batgirl. and the other ones.
Right.
Yeah, Michael, you're right. It's or at least a C-list character.
I thought maybe Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie or some kind of team up movie would have been better than just Blue Beetle. I thought
At this point in the DC universe, they need their heavy hitters, and they need their heavy hitters to do right, and to do really well. I mean, but who do they have left? They really need. I would love. Please bring back Green Lantern, and have the director who was humiliated and destroyed by that, the one who directed Casino Royale and GoldenEye,
right?
Bring him back to direct it and let him do it this time, because he was totally sabotaged. They threw him under the bus.
It's so bizarre.
It's so bizarre. No. Anybody who has any history at all with Warner Brothers,
gotcha. Okay.
They are. If you go back in the history of Warner Brothers, they are constantly undercutting their directors. They are constantly undercutting. They are second guessing. You can find the history of it. It's eternal.
Yeah. But how was the action? Was the action standard, the usual, or is it okay? It's okay.
Well, it all depends on the hero, because everybody has to fight in character. The Blue Beetle fights like Blue Beetle, which is not interesting to me. It's not exceptional stuff. It's just, I mean, it's Iron Man.
Right.
It's Blue Man Group.
It's watchable. There you go. It's watchable,
but it's
well. One more
question. It made me feel sad.
Gotcha. Michael says it's generic.
Yeah. Michael, get Michael on here. We're going to add to Michael, Phat Samurai Guy, Sifu Santa, and Michael Gonzalez's action film Autopsy, and also Master of Remaster. We're going to have a very long title soon.
Really quickly, one more question before we wrap it up for today. So, I've heard from some people that they did enjoy Blue Beetle. They had fun with it. And
it's enjoyable.
That's great.
Yep.
But I did hear some criticisms, and I wonder if you have the same criticisms. One of the criticisms was he's Spider-Man. He does not kill, but his family has a body count in the movie, and people were like, "What are we doing?" So his family could kill a whole bunch of people, but Blue Beetle's not killing anyone. What are we doing here?
Oh, I didn't care about that.
Okay.
I mean, again, I thought it was well, that's not true. I do care about that a lot, but I don't care about the fact that he didn't kill and they did kill. What I cared about is that they killed the way that everybody kills in movies now, which is one of the reasons I tried not to believe this for the longest time, but now I have to accept that it's probably true. The way guns have been portrayed in entertainment in the last 20 or 30 years has really led to the rampant violence that is going on. I mean, even I'm in a pretty high class town, and we've had people being killed. We've had people being wounded, being shot every day. I mean, I used to be able to watch, we have News 12 Connecticut, and every single day there's more and more violence, because these movies show you that it is incredibly easy to shoot a gun. There's absolutely no fallout. So here we're seeing a nice Puerto Rican family killing people with no emotional fallout. None. No problem. It's easy to kill someone. And I'm working with a guy now on a book who's been a warrior for 30 years, and I can assure you, every time you hurt or kill someone, it hurts you too.
Right.
It cuts a little piece in your brain. There's no getting rid of it.
Did he at least react to his family killing a whole bunch of people?
Nope. Oh, they can't afford to show any emotion.
Oh, okay.
They can't afford to show any real emotion at that.
Right.
And once they make that decision to make it unrealistic, they
don't care. Gotcha.
I want the next phase. Now that we've had Fast and Furious, we've had John Wick, we've had Mission Impossible.
You want to go back to basics.
I want anchored action movies. I want movies where you feel something and care.
Right.
I want guns to work the way they actually work. I want cars to work the way they actually work. I want somebody to get hurt.
In movies, it's fun.
Yeah. In reality, it happens, and because
yeah.
But anyway, I don't bring everybody down, baby.
I know, man. No, just kidding. No, you're being honest. You're being honest. That's
Back onto Haya, man. Go to Haya and watch.
Go to Haya.
Stuff.
Yeah, watch some cool stuff there. But yeah, that's the last one. I guess we can do the quick Rick recap for those of you who have just arrived late. We're gonna do the quick recap. Let me start at the bottom here, then I'll go back up to the top. Rick, thoughts on One Piece?
I'm hopeful.
Okay, we get
first episode had a lot of really good action.
All right, we got the one thumb up so far. MEG 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I liked it more than Frank did, so it's going to be one of these.
Okay,
it's going to be one of these.
Okay. All right. Heart of Stupid. Once you mentioned bad shaky cam for the fights, I'm going to do it too. I haven't even seen the fucking movie.
So bad.
I'm doing it too.
Such a stupid movie.
Oh my goodness. Heart of Stupid. All right. We got the Monkey King. Mid. Okay. Mid. All right. We got Toidles. All right. The one thumb up. Okay. Boom. White Storm 3.
First 15 minutes, last 15 minutes.
Okay.
The romance and the drama.
There you go. All right. Nice. Wolfpack.
It's a little better than this. It's not this completely, but that knife fight.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Luban. Okay. All right.
I'm going to be watching that again.
All right.
Yeah.
Ahsoka. So far.
First two episodes.
Okay.
Third episode.
All right. And Blue Beetle, everyone's favorite superhero movie of the year. Mid.
It's the very definition of mid.
Right. Copy that. Well, This was a blast. This was fun. As always, don't forget to check in the description box below. Get a piece of Rick. Click on the link. That's right. Check out the cool stuff he's got for sale there. Autographs, all kinds of cool stuff from martial arts legends and actors and kung fu enthusiasts, all that good stuff and more.
A lot of pictures too, yeah.
A lot of photos, a lot of cool stuff.
Comic strips, cartoons, yeah.
And if you're not a channel member or Patreon member right now, right now, you want to hear what Phat Samurai Guy thinks about the Chinese boxer and one-arm boxer. It is hilarious review, only exclusive for the channel members. So make sure you guys enjoy that if you're a channel member. And if not, hey, you get exclusive content if you guys join. And tomorrow, hey, we're keeping it kung fu and martial arts related. We're going to be talking The Big Boss Return to Thailand documentary, directed and created by Matt Rutledge. Yes, so we're going to have him here hanging out with Samurai Guy tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And a lot of cool stuff coming up to the channel. Follow Rick. That's right. Instagram link is in the description box below. Thank you.
I don't do Instagram. Facebook. Do Facebook.
You do Facebook? All right. I'll do Facebook next time. All right, guys. Thanks again. And the next action film Autopsy, Rick, there's a lot of action movies coming out.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to Equalizer, in fact. Yeah.
Equalizer, Expendables 4. There's a lot of stuff coming out. So it's going to be fun and hilarious as usual. All right, guys. Take care. Keep watching action movies, baby. Keep kung fuing. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.